So quiz tomorrow is on sections R1 and R2. It's going to be 12 questions. I'm going to do certain ones that I think are important from the review, so I would definitely make note of these, so you definitely know how to know these questions. But then there's some of them repeat on the quiz review, so it's same idea. So there's more on the review for you to practice too. After school today, all the answers will be posted and worked out for the quiz review too. So if you are doing it for homework and there's one that you still don't understand how to do, you can always just look back at the answers and see how it's worked out. My suggestion would be, don't just copy the answers to get the homework done. Actually treat the review as if it's like a quiz kind of, because you're going to see the same type of questions tomorrow on the quiz. And you're not going to have the answers with you then. So let's look at number 1. What is -9 to the power of 0? 1. Awesome. Anything to the power of 0 is 1. The next one that I want to look at is number 6. So here we want to simplify the exponential expression. What should I do first? Let's multiply the numbers first. So we're going to stick with multiplying the numbers together, then we'll multiply the x's, and then we'll multiply the y's. So what's -2 times -5? Positive 10. Now let's multiply the x's. So I have x to the 2nd power times x to the 4th power. When we multiply, what do we do to combine our exponents? Add them. So it'd be x to the power of 2 plus 4, which is x to the power of 6. And then lastly, we have the y's. So I have y times y to the 5th power. That first y doesn't have an exponent on it. So what does that mean that exponent should be? 1. And then what do I do to the exponents to combine them? Add. So y to the power of 1 plus 5 would be y to the power of 6. Awesome. So number 9, x to the power of 5 times x to the power of 6 would be what? X to the power of, we're multiplying, so what do I do to combine the exponents? Add them. So x to the power of 11. We multiply when you have a power raised to the power. If I had something like x to the power of 6 to the power of 5, this is when you would multiply. So just make sure you know the difference between when to add and when to multiply. Right, let's look at number 10. What do I do when I'm multiplying? Add the exponents. So this would be x to the power of -4. We don't like negative exponents in our answer, so what do I have to do to make this positive? Put 1 over what? X to the power of 4. We make it positive and take the reciprocal of it. So make it positive and put it in the bottom of our fraction. Let's take a look at 13 and 14. For 13, when I'm dividing, what do I need to do to the exponents? Subtract them. So this would be x to the power of 10 minus 4. Remember, it's always the top minus bottom. So that would be x to the power of 6. All right, let's look at 14. What should I do first for 14? How could I simplify this? Are they the same base? No. So can I combine them together? No. But I can simplify. Madison, how? Awesome. What is y to the power of 0? 1. So this would be x to the power of 4 times 1, which would be x to the power of 4. So anything that has the exponent of 1 just goes away. or anything that has an exponent of 0 goes away, not 1. Yeah, if it has anything that has an exponent of 0, you can just cross off, get rid of it. If you had something like x to the power of 4, y to the power of 0, and then this is all to the power of 0, you can just get rid of that y to the power of 0, or if it's all to the power of 2. And then you can deal with x to the 4th power squared. So like right when at the start of the question, anything that has the exponent of 0, you can just cross it off. What if I had something like, I think there's an example that we're going to do, but let's say x squared, y squared to the power of 0. It all cancels out and it all turns into 1. Any questions here? All right, let's look at 16. For 16, we need to simplify the expression and write with positive exponents. Do these have the same base? No. So can I combine them together? No. But how can I make them have positive exponents? Switch them. So if it's on the bottom and it's negative, we're going to move it to the top. So that would be y to the power of 8 on top. If it has a negative exponent on the top, we move it to the bottom. So if it's on the top and it's negative, we move it to the bottom. So we'd put x to the power of 8 on the bottom. And that would be our answer. All right, let's look at 18. What should I do for 18? Armani, what should I do? Awesome. Let's multiply the numbers first. So what's negative 5 times 2? Negative 10. Then what should we do? We add the exponents. So x to the power of 2 plus 3. Since we're multiplying these together, we add the exponents. That would be x to the power of 5. All right, let's look at 20. What should I do first? Combine the numbers first. So can we divide 28 by 7?
Yes.
What do we get? 4. Awesome. Where's the 4 going to go? On the top or on the bottom? Top. So 28, we divide it by 7, we get 4. Then let's simplify the x's. So I'm dividing here. What do I do to combine these together? Subtract. So 21 minus 20 would be what? Do I put x to the power of 1? Nope, it's just x. So if your exponent is 1, you don't need it there. Now let's look at the y's. What do I do when I'm dividing? Subtract. So it'd be 13 minus negative 10. Be super careful with the signs here. So we add. Awesome. When you subtract a negative, we add. So this would be y to what power? Y to the 23rd power. Do I have anything left on the bottom? Nope. So our answer is 4 times x times y to the power of 23. All right, let's look at 21. What should I do first for 21? Amanda. I am going to end up multiplying the exponents, but what has the exponent of negative 2? Not just the x, what else? The 7. I have to distribute it first before I multiply because I don't want to forget to apply that exponent to the 7 too. So 7 to the power of negative 2 and x to the power of 6 to the power of negative 2. Now here we can multiply our exponents because we have a power raised to a power. So that's 7 to the power of negative 2 times x to what power? Negative 12th power. We don't like negative exponents in our answer, so what do we need to do next? Flip it. We put it on the bottom. What's going to go to the bottom? The x and what else? And the 7. So it becomes 7 to the power of positive 2 and x to the power of positive 2. They both have negative exponents, so we put them both on the bottom. Can I simplify this any more? What's 7 to the power of 2? 49. So it'd be 1 over 49 times x to the power of 12. So on the quiz, if you have anything like a number raised to an exponent, evaluate it, multiply it out, actually simplify as much as you can. You're not going to have anything that's like 7 to the 8th power. I made sure the numbers are small so you can work everything out. So everything on the quiz, just make sure you multiply it out. Simplify it completely. Any questions there? Let's look at 22. What should I do first for 22? Let's simplify the numbers. What's 36 divided by 9? 4. Where's the 4 going to go? On the top. Now let's simplify the x's. When I'm dividing, what do I do to the exponents? So we have x to the power of 7 minus 2, which would be x to the power of 5. Now let's do the same thing with the y's. I'm dividing, so what do I need to do? Subtract. So we have y to the power of 11 minus 7, which is y to the power of 4. Is there anything else that I need to do here? Nope. All of our exponents are positive, so we're done. Any questions here? What's the first thing I should do for 27, Madison? Simplify the inside. So we're going to simplify the numbers first. What's 12 divided by 3? 4. Now let's do the same thing with the x's. How do I simplify the x's, Andrew? Subtract. What's the exponent of the x on the bottom? 1. So that would be negative 3 minus 1, which is x to the power of negative 4. Negative 3 minus 1. They're both negative, so you add the numbers together. Let's do the same thing with the y's. How would I combine the y's? Subtract the exponent. So negative 2 minus negative 2. So what do I do when I subtract a negative? We add. So what's negative 2 plus 2? 0. What is y to the power of 0? 1. So I can just cross it out. We can get rid of it. It goes away. And then lastly, let's do the same thing with the z's. So we subtract our exponents, so we have 3 minus negative 3. What do I do when I subtract the negative? Add. What's 3 plus 3? 6, so it's z to the power of 6. Be careful when you're doing the math there. We may need to refresh our memories on how to add positives and negatives and how to subtract negatives and all of that. So just be very careful. This is all raised to the power of negative 2. So all we did was simplify the inside. Step 1, simplify the inside. What should I do next? We can distribute. So step 2 is distribute. So our exponent gets distributed to everything on the inside. It doesn't need to get distributed to the y anymore because we got rid of it. Y to the power of 0 is 1. It goes away. We don't even have to worry about it anymore. So we distribute it to everything that's left on the inside. So we have 4 to the power of negative 2. X to the power of negative 4 to the power of negative 2. And z to the power of 6 to the power of negative 2. What can I do next? A couple different things that we can do. Andrew, what should I do?
Get rid of the parentheses. So multiply the -4 and -2 and 6 and -2.
Awesome. What do I do when I have an exponent raised to an exponent? Multiply. So we can multiply to get rid of, to simplify a little bit, get rid of those parentheses inside. So I have 4 to the power of -2. What is -4 times -2? 8. Careful, you're multiplying. So it'd be +8, and then I have z to the power of what's 6 times -2? -12. Can we leave negative exponents in our answer? No, we got to make them positive. How do we make them positive? Flip them. What's going to go to the bottom? 4 to the power of what? +2 now, because we moved it. What else? Z to the power of 12. Perfect. What do I do with the x? It stays up top. The 8 is not a negative exponent, so we don't move it. Stays where it's at, stays up top. One last little thing that we can do to simplify. What is it, Madison?
4 to the second power.
Awesome. What's 4 to the second power? 16. So our answer is x to the power of 8 divided by 16 times z to the power of 12. So this is one of those where it has a lot of steps, but just make sure you're doing one step at a time. You want to simplify the inside first, make the question a little bit easier on yourself so you're not distributing to a whole bunch of things. Simplify the inside. Then you can distribute. Then worry about your exponents and then move whatever needs to. Just make sure you're doing one step at a time. Don't get ahead of yourself. These are a lot of steps, so just take your time with questions like these. Okay, let's look at 29. What should I do first? Awesome. We can distribute. So any exponent that has, or any parentheses that have an exponent, we can distribute that exponent to everything inside that parentheses. So 3 to the second power, a to the 4th power to the second power, b to the 3rd power to the second power. That's all still times 2ab to the 6th power. So I'm only going to simplify the left side of that plus sign first. Then hopefully these will be like terms so we can add them together. But let's just stick with simplifying the left side first. What should I do next? We just well, what do you mean distribute? I'm just going to stick with doing the left side first. Let's just break this down, simplify it as much as we can, then we'll do the same thing on the right. So do what? What do I do when I have a power raised to a power? We multiply. But I can also simplify. What's 3 to the second power? 9. Perfect. 3 squared is 9. So then we have a to the power of what? 8. Perfect. Because we had 4 times 2. And then we have b to the power of 3 times 2. So b to the power of 6. Now this is all still times 2 times a times b to the 6th power. Now let's combine these together. Simplify. What can I do next? Madison. Perfect. Let's combine our like terms here. So I have 9 times 2, which would be 18. What else can we do? So that's a to the power of 1. When I'm multiplying, what do I do to the exponents? Add the exponents. So that would be a to the power of 9. 8 plus 1 would be 9. And then we have b to the power of 12. Perfect. 6 plus 6 would be 12. So we simplified the left side as much as possible. Now let's simplify the right side. What should I do first to simplify the right side? Let's distribute the exponent. So that gets distributed to everything inside. So I have a to the second power to the third power, b to the fourth power to the third power, times negative a to the third power times b to the power of 0. What can I do next? So what do I do when I have a power raised to a power? Multiply. So it becomes a to the power of 6 and b to the power of 12 times negative a to the third power, b to the power of 0. What can I do next? Add the coefficients so we can combine our same variables. So the variables with the same base. We add the exponents together. So that would be a to what power? A to the power of 9. And then with the b's, what's 12 plus 0? 12. So b to the power of 12. Now I'm missing one little piece. Yes. The negative, I'm just going to put that in front of the a. We didn't have another number that got multiplied to, so we just need to put it in front of the a. Now be careful, we are still adding here. How would I add? Are these like terms? Yeah, they have the same exact variable part. So I have a to the 9th power, b to the 12th power, a to the 9th power, b to the 12th power. How do I add when they have the same variables? Madison. I keep the exponents the same, so my answer is going to have a to the 9th power, b to the 12th power. But what's the number out front going to be? What's that coefficient?
17.
How do you know it's 17?
Because it's technically -1.
Awesome. Because we add the coefficients, so my coefficients are 18, and that negative means that it's a -1. So 18 minus 1 would be 17. So at the end, in this last step, you need to make sure that the variable parts are the same, and in your answer, the variable parts are going to be the same thing. You're just adding the coefficients. So you're adding the coefficients, which are the numbers in front. So variables stay the same.